These are the final resting places of remarkable individuals whose achievements helped shape Florida's history through entertainment, sports, literature, and public service. From world-famous performers and championship coaches to pioneering authors and visionary leaders, these legendary figures left behind extraordinary legacies that continue inspiring millions of people. Today, visitors from around the world travel across the Sunshine State to honor their memories and pay their respects at these historic resting places. Jackie Gleason died on June 24, 1987, at the age of 71 after battling colon cancer, which was complicated by liver cancer that had spread during his final months. He was entombed at Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Cemetery in Doral, Florida. Best remembered as the unforgettable star of The Honeymooners, Gleason became one of America's greatest comedians through his larger-than-life personality and timeless television performances. His famous catchphrase, "And away we go," is engraved on his mausoleum, reminding visitors of the entertainer who brought laughter to generations. Fans continue visiting his final resting place to honor one of television's greatest legends. Don Shula died on May 4, 2020, at the age of 90, after complications related to heart failure and declining health. He was buried at Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Cemetery in Doral, Florida, only a short distance from Jackie Gleason. As the legendary head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Shula became the winningest coach in NFL history and remains the only coach to complete a perfect season in the Super Bowl era. His leadership transformed the Dolphins into one of football's most respected franchises. Visitors continue paying tribute to one of the greatest coaches the sport has ever known. Bob Ross died on July 4, 1995, at the age of 52, after developing lymphoma, a form of cancer that he kept private until shortly before his passing. He was buried at Woodlawn Memorial Park in Gotha, Florida. Through the joy of painting, Ross inspired millions to discover their creativity with his calm voice, gentle personality, and famous "Happy Little Trees." His grave has become a beloved destination where admirers often leave paintbrushes, palettes, and handwritten messages in memory of one of television's most comforting personalities. Henry Flagler died on May 20, 1913, at the age of 83 after suffering complications associated with old age. He was entombed inside Memorial Presbyterian Church in St. Augustine, Florida, a magnificent church he personally commissioned. Often called the father of modern Florida, Flagler transformed the state's economy by building the Florida East Coast Railway and developing luxury resorts that helped establish cities such as Palm Beach, Miami, and Key West. His magnificent mausoleum remains one of the most beautiful and historically significant burial sites anywhere in Florida. Zora Neale Hurston died on January 28, 1960, at the age of 69, after suffering complications from heart disease and hypertension. She was buried at Garden of Heavenly Rest Cemetery in Fort Pierce, Florida. One of the most influential writers of the Harlem Renaissance, Hurston became famous for her masterpiece, Their Eyes Were Watching God, and her groundbreaking work, documenting African-American folklore. Her grave remained unmarked for many years until author Alice Walker located it and placed a memorial honoring her extraordinary literary contributions. Today, visitors continue paying tribute to one of America's greatest authors. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings died on December 14, 1953, at the age of 57, after suffering a cerebral hemorrhage. She was buried at Antioch Cemetery near Island Grove, Florida, close to the Cross Creek community that inspired many of her stories. Best known for her Pulitzer Prize-winning novel The Yearling, Rawlings beautifully captured the lives, struggles, and natural beauty of rural Florida. Her peaceful gravesite continues attracting readers who admire one of the state's most celebrated literary figures. George Steinbrenner died on July 13, 2010, at the age of 80, after suffering a heart attack. He was buried at Trinity Memorial Gardens in Trinity, Florida. Although best known as the longtime owner of the New York Yankees, Steinbrenner spent much of his life in the Tampa Bay area and chose Florida as his final resting place. His leadership helped build one of the most successful dynasties in professional sports, and visitors continue honoring one of baseball's most influential owners. Mary McLeod Bethune died on May 18, 1955, at the age of 79, after suffering a heart attack following years of declining health. She was buried on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida, the very institution she founded with determination and a vision for education. As one of America's most influential educators and civil rights leaders, Bethune advised several U.S. presidents and devoted her life to expanding educational opportunities for African Americans. Her gravesite remains one of Florida's most meaningful historical landmarks, where visitors continue honoring her extraordinary legacy. Ronnie Van Zant died on October 20, 1977, at the age of 29 after suffering fatal injuries in the tragic plane crash that claimed the lives of several members of Lynyrd Skynyrd while the band was traveling between concert stops. He was originally buried at Jacksonville Memory Gardens in Orange Park, Florida, before his remains were later moved to a private family location following repeated acts of vandalism. As the unmistakable voice and founding frontman of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Van Zant helped define Southern rock through timeless classics, including Sweet Home Alabama, Simple Man, and Free Bird. His legacy continues inspiring generations of rock fans around the world. Allen Collins died on January 23, 1990, at the age of 37, after developing chronic pneumonia brought on by years of declining health, following the devastating automobile accident that left him permanently paralyzed. He was buried at Riverside Memorial Park in Jacksonville, Florida. As one of Lynyrd Skynyrd's legendary guitarists and the co-writer of Freebird, Collins helped create some of the most recognizable guitar melodies in rock history. His grave remains a popular destination for fans paying tribute to one of Southern rock's greatest musicians. Leon Wilkeson died on July 27, 2001, at the age of 49, after suffering from chronic liver disease and emphysema, conditions that eventually led to natural causes. He was buried at Riverside Memorial Park in Jacksonville, Florida, close to his bandmate Allen Collins. Known for his signature bass lines and distinctive stage presence, Wilkeson played an essential role in Lynyrd Skynyrd's classic lineup and appeared on nearly every legendary recording. Visitors continue honoring one of the band's most beloved members at his final resting place. Bo Diddley died on June 2, 2008, at the age of 79, after suffering heart failure following several years of declining health and multiple strokes. He was buried at Rosemary Hill Cemetery in Bronson, Florida. Widely recognized as one of the founding fathers of rock and roll, Bo Diddley's innovative rhythm, known worldwide as the Bo Diddley beat, influenced countless musicians, including the Rolling Stones, Buddy Holly, and Elvis Presley. Fans from around the world continue visiting his grave to honor one of the true pioneers of modern popular music. Jaco Pastorius died on September 21, 1987, at the age of 35, after suffering severe brain injuries sustained during a violent assault outside a nightclub in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was buried at Our Lady Queen of Heaven Cemetery in North Lauderdale, Florida. Considered one of the greatest bass players in music history, Pastorius revolutionized jazz fusion through his extraordinary technique, creativity, and groundbreaking performances. With Weather Report, his gravesite has become a pilgrimage destination for bass players and jazz musicians from around the world. Mel Tillis died on November 19, 2017, at the age of 85, after suffering respiratory failure following years of declining health. He was buried at Florida National Cemetery in Bushnell, Florida. One of country music's most respected singers and songwriters, Tillis recorded dozens of hit songs, while also writing classics for many of Nashville's biggest stars. His remarkable career earned him induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and visitors continue paying tribute to one of country music's most beloved entertainers. Rocky Marciano died on August 31, 1969, at the age of 45 after a small private airplane crashed near Newton, Iowa, just one day before his 46th birthday. He was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Gardens in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The only heavyweight champion in boxing history to retire undefeated with a perfect 49-0 record, Marciano became famous for his incredible punching power, relentless determination, and unmatched toughness inside the ring. More than half a century after his passing, boxing fans continue visiting his grave to honor one of the sport's greatest champions. Harry T. Moore died on December 25, 1951, at the age of 46, after a bomb planted beneath his home exploded on Christmas night, inflicting catastrophic injuries that proved fatal. He was buried in LaGrange Cemetery in Mims, Florida. Long before the national civil rights movement gained momentum, Moore dedicated his life to fighting for equal voting rights, better education, and justice for African Americans. Often remembered as one of the first martyrs of the modern civil rights movement, his legacy continues inspiring generations of Americans. Visitors regularly pay tribute at his gravesite to honor his courage and sacrifice. Harriet Moore died on January 3, 1952, at the age of 49, after succumbing to the severe injuries she sustained in the same bombing that claimed her husband's life just days earlier. She was buried beside Harry T. Moore at LaGrange Cemetery in Mims, Florida. Throughout her life, Harriet worked alongside her husband in the struggle for equality, standing beside him during some of the most dangerous years of the civil rights movement. Today, their shared gravesite remains one of the most important historical landmarks in Florida, honoring two individuals whose sacrifices helped change American history. Bobby Bowden died on August 8, 2021, at the age of 91 after battling pancreatic cancer during the final months of his life. He was buried at Cully's Meadowood Memorial Cemetery in Tallahassee, Florida. During his remarkable coaching career at Florida State University, Bowden transformed the Seminoles into one of college football's greatest dynasties, winning 2 national championships while becoming one of the winningest coaches in NCAA history. His final resting place continues attracting football fans who wish to honor one of the sport's greatest leaders. Leroy Collins died on March 12, 1991, at the age of 82, after suffering complications related to declining health. He was buried at Old City Cemetery in Tallahassee, Florida. Serving as Florida's governor during one of the state's most challenging periods, Collins became widely respected for promoting racial reconciliation and responsible leadership when many others refused to do so. His courageous decisions earned admiration far beyond Florida, and visitors continue honoring one of the state's most influential political leaders. These remarkable individuals helped shape Florida's history through entertainment, sports, literature, politics, education, and civil rights. Their extraordinary achievements continue inspiring countless people, while their final resting places remain important landmarks visited by admirers from across the country.